Turning now to the devastation left behind by Hurricane Ian. Officials now say at least 88 people were killed by the powerful storm in Florida. Most of the people killed were in Lee County, where the storm made a direct hit on Wednesday. This is a look at Fort Meyers. Amazing. Where rescues still ongoing right now as hundreds of thousands of people statewide are still without power. Floodwaters from record river levels are making matters even worse in other parts of the state. Now, even as the storm has passed with each day, people in Florida realize the recovery is going to take a very long time. Chris Hoffman is live in Fort Meyers with the very latest. Chris?
Elizabeth, here's what we're seeing in much of Fort Myers Beach. Even days after Hurricane Ian ravaged the area, you have boats still just sitting on top of this SUV, just crushing it. A few feet away, you have what was someone's business, now just a pile of rubble. As cleanup efforts continue in Fort Myers, Florida, residents are still coming to terms with the massive damage that Hurricane Ian inflicted.
Kitchen's got to come out, the bathrooms are all got to come out. It's a complete redo.
I was just devastated seeing what was happening to the property. It was hard to comprehend.
Before and after satellite images show the scope of the destruction.
From here on out, we're just going to exist.
I feel like we're existing, but we're really not living. Our life is right there.
Hundreds of thousands of people are still without power.
Rest assured, they are working hard to get those lights back on.
Fuel and water remain in short supply. State officials are now defending the timing of evacuation orders in the Fort Myers area that some say didn't come soon enough.
It was a situation where those folks at the local level, as that storm started to shift, then they took that data and then they acted appropriately.
The destruction is still everywhere in Fort Myers Beach, Florida, from boats landing on buildings to other structures just left as rubble.
I fell off the roof over there, and one guy almost cut his thumb off, but everybody made it through. Everybody made it through okay.
Sean Shelton rode out the storm on a shrimp boat, which is now in a pile of debris with other boats on Fort Myers Beach.
Where do you even begin to pick up the peak after this? Where do you even start?
I don't know. We're having a meeting. We're going to try to figure out what we're all going to do.
In some parts of Florida, the danger from flooding isn't over.
I can't get out, and I prayed. That's all I know how to do is pray.
Homes are flooded in Deltona, in the central part of Florida, and there's a voluntary evacuation in St. Cloud as water levels continue to rise. Chris Hoffman, CBS News, Fort Myers, Florida. Now, helicopters have been flying overhead to the barrier islands to help with that relief effort. President Joe Biden is in Puerto Rico today. He will be in Florida on Wednesday to survey the hurricane damage. Elizabeth?
Chris, you spoke to one of the residents there, and I thought this was so poignant. He said that they're existing. They're not really living. I know this is going to be an incredibly long recovery. I can only imagine what it's like for these folks coming and seeing all the damage, seeing their homes basically reduced to rubble. What are they saying to you? Are they hopeful about the response that they're going to get, the help that they're going to get in rebuilding their lives, or is it just pretty despondent right now?
Some people are still in that just state of shock that this happened. You heard from the one man there, Mr. Shelton, that he's just in awe. He's still trying to really process this. We spoke with some other people. You know, they say they can't just throw up their hands and say, oh, woe is me. Some, they're already pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, clearing out the debris on their properties, and trying to make those calls, figure out what is going to be next. How can they rebuild? Really trying to find some hope in an otherwise really dire situation here, especially in the Fort Myers Beach area, which was just devastated. You can see it behind me, just devastated by this hurricane.
It's just remarkable. It doesn't even seem real. And I can, the fortitude of these people returning to their homes and saying, we're going to rebuild. It's going to be okay. I can imagine that is incredibly difficult. All right, Chris, thank you. CBS News partnering with the Red Cross on hurricane relief efforts. To donate, go to cbsnews.com/redcross.